have we got a fantastic show for you today. This is Strategic Basics, and we're going to take a peek at homeless streamers in China. Yes, you heard me right. Homeless streamers. Okay, let's take a peek.
Shit's bad. You thought it's bad here in the US? Over in China, every single girl, like there are all these girls in China that are trying to make it as the next big content creator, popular, like influencer in China. It is insane.
If you walk around in a Chinese city at night, you might come across something like this. Rows.
Oh my goodness. Ah! Wow.
Of people, mostly young and attractive, sitting or standing on the streets in front of rows of phones and ring lights.
Oh my god.
I agree. Oh my god, look at all those people. Where do they get the power? Like, what a crazy scene.
Singing and talking and sometimes dancing. They look like streamers, but they also look homeless. Indeed, they do gather around places where homeless people tend to be. On the sidewalks, inside tunnels.
Yeah, this is like, so if you replace this microphone with a syringe, that would basically be San Francisco.
Yeah, they're not doing this in San Francisco. Wow. That is amazing. All these cute girls, apparently homeless, looking to be the next big thing. I gotta watch more.
On bridges or under bridges. There was even a bridge that became so famous for this type of gathering that people started going there just to watch the spectacle.
Oh my god.
There was so much foot traffic under the bridge that at one point it started to look like a local festival or
it's ridiculous.
You can see people dressed up impeccably while dancing in the mud, or carrying a heavy jar of water while dancing in the mud, or downright rolling in the mud, or basically doing whatever it takes to get attention from viewers.
Wow. This is amazing.
Is that Wukong? No shot. That's a Wukong cosplay.
What would you be willing to do to be famous? I mean, this counterpoint of homeless plus trying to be the next big thing with their iPhones and their ring lights and their tripods. Wow, this is kind of amazing. And as usual, the links to the full videos are in the description, so you can check out AsmongoldTV with his China Has a Lot of Homeless Streamers episode. I gotta watch more. Aren't you curious? This is amazing.
Oh my god. Wow.
From viewers online. Now, if you're seeing this for the first time, you probably have a few commonly asked questions.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Where are they doing that?
Money.
Are they streaming? Are they homeless? Why are they streaming outside? Why can't they stream from home? Why are they all together like that? Why can't they just stream by themselves?
True.
Yes, we have all of these questions. Please do tell the answers.
Why do they seem so desperate? What's pushing them to go this far?
I know why they're desperate.
Why is this happening? Why are we here? What's the meaning of life?
Oh,
the universe.
No,
I got
He's gonna go 42. I know the answer to that. The meaning of life is 42, according to Douglas Adams.
In this video, I will talk about this phenomenon of homeless streaming in China. I'll talk about what it is and what caused it, and in so doing paint a cautionary tale of what can happen when the attention economy goes too far.
Just saying.
And that's okay, because the lessons here are applicable across culture and geography, and can be useful regardless of your particular...
I talked to a girl that she came from China, and I talked to her a lot about this. If you think that Western streamers and these streamer girls in the West are catty, bro, like the China and Taiwan shit, that's on a whole other level. Well, I didn't even realize that. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, catty,
It's ruthless in China? Yes, it is.
domains of human endeavor. So join me as we dive in.
Savage.
To the rise of these homeless streamers. Now, first of all, yes, they are indeed streamers, but no, they're not homeless, or at least not usually. So why are they out there on the street in the middle of the night? Well, they come out at night because night...
Well, I'm glad to know that they're not homeless. So the homeless streamers in China are not really homeless. That kind of makes sense. How would they clean up? How would they get iPhones? How would they get all their stuff? But let's hear, why are they doing this on the street? That doesn't seem to make any sense. But it's got to make sense somehow. So let's see what the video has to say.
Time just happens to be a peak time for streaming traffic in China. Most people would have finished work at that point and are now online seeking entertainment. So nighttime naturally has the most streamed viewers, and streamers in turn get online at night to capitalize on that. Many streamers also have day jobs and would only have time to stream at night.
That's
in terms of why they do it on the street though, it's mostly because it makes for engaging content. You're probably seeing TikTok dancers do this, filming their content in public, sometimes to the annoyance of other people. TikTokers can and do film their content in private spaces, but there's something interesting about the real world chaos, the cars and the cityscape and the social pressure of other people watching that can make the content more engaging to watch.
That's certainly true. There's more pressure, there's more background, it's more interesting, less controllable, but yes, it can be a lot more going on and make that better for a TikTok video or a streamer video.
And
I think that's probably true. He's right about that.
Chinese streamers stream in public to capture some of that same engagement on their stream. Additionally, for some streamers, this is also an attempt to appeal to pity. The idea is that if viewers see them sitting out in the cold at 1 in the morning, they might feel empathy towards the streamers.
This is one thing.
I certainly am feeling some empathy for them, those poor girls.
That happens with people here in the US too, with streamers, is that they try to act like they don't have money or like things aren't this way. And like this is it's not as big as it used to be, but I always thought this shit was cringe, bro. Like if you've got people trying to you're trying to make them think that they that's you, what do you mean it's like me? Didn't I show like how much money I made like yesterday? Like what the fuck? That's not me at all. No, but it's this entire idea of like trying to be relatable, and it's just farming losers. That's what it is.
Farming losers.
As a result, become nicer to them and donate to their stream more often. Now, I acknowledge that this looks kind of insane. In fact, when I first started researching this topic,
and like that whole orange carpet or whatever they're on, it looks like it's all organized for this.
I had to do a sanity check and contact a few people in China to make sure that they've actually seen this with their own eyes, and this is not just AI-generated footage. And unfortunately, it is real.
Wow.
In fact, you can watch the stream from these streamers right now. You need to use a Chinese streaming platform, and here's me trying to do this a few weeks ago. I just searched for street streaming and found one after just a couple of scrolls. What was shocking to me was like that I was watching this.
That's like one of their most popular places. Like that's one of their big websites. That's like their TikTok basically.
At 1:40 in the afternoon Pacific time, which would have been about 4, almost 5 o'clock in the morning in China. So this poor girl was on the street at basically 5 in the morning. While it was kind of raining and streaming for the 46 people who were watching the stream. So the question is, why are they going this far?
Well, I guess it's better than being on the street at that time and, being a hooker, but that does seem very interesting.
Sure, streaming outside might make for slightly better content, but compared to the comfort of streaming from home, what's pushing these streamers to go out in the cold in the middle of the night?
Well, it's also probably so they can attract, like, all you really need is 1 or 2 simps. Like, how many of you guys have seen, like, smaller female streamers that are pretty much completely supported by, like, 3 guys? I've seen this a lot. Whale simps? Yeah, 2 or 3 loaded simps, exactly.
First of all, there is a macroeconomic reason for this. After the COVID lockdown, China's economy has not rebounded as strongly as one would have hoped. The rate of unemployment is still relatively high, and even those with jobs might not necessarily be able to afford the cost of living in major cities. Streaming, on the other hand, has a low barrier to entry. Basically anyone with a phone and an internet connection can do it. So naturally, streaming becomes something many Chinese people do to supplement their income. According to...
How about you? You may not be in China as you're watching this, but are you a streamer? Or have you thought of being a streamer? Or have you thought of being a YouTuber? And if so, do you do it outside? And do you do it at 4 a.m.? Curious to know.
CCTV, there were more than 15 million professional streamers in China by the end of 2023. That means roughly 1 in every 100 people in China were streamers. In other words,
1 out of 100, so 1% of people are streamers. That's a huge percentage.
the streaming industry has become incredibly competitive. It's therefore a necessity
Oh my
for
God.
streamers to go the extra mile, to stand out in a sea of people making similar content.
I'm certainly glad I'm not in China. I can do this from the comfort of my home office. Wow.
If they want to make money.
In my opinion, like, this is just the way I think about it, is that I think they go about it the wrong way. They're not thinking about it the right way. Because, like, you really want to go and make money and you want to be successful, etc. What you have to do is you have to do something different. Like, oversaturated? No, it's not oversaturated. You just go in there, you do something funny, and
I completely agree. Doing something different is the way to go to set yourself apart, not doing more of whatever everybody else is doing. That's how you build a valuable brand. You got to stand out by being unique, by being contrarian. I agree.
and you're still going to come out ahead. Winners win and losers lose. You always have to keep that in mind. This entire mindset that you have to follow the crowd and follow trends and everything like that, that's what losers do.
I agree. Don't follow. Be a leader.
Effort to come out to the street is just one such example. But there are other factors that exaggerates this sense of desperation in streamers and push them to work harder. One of these factors is baked directly into the mechanics of Chinese streaming platforms, and it has to do with how Chinese streamers get paid. Now, many streaming platforms in the West, like Twitch and YouTube, have ad revenue sharing programs. Once streamers are qualified and accepted into the program, even if their viewers don't pay them,
that'd be crazy.
The streamers can still get paid from ad revenue. Chinese streaming platforms, on the other hand, don't have ad revenue sharing, or at least not yet at this time. So streamers' income has to come from the pocket of the viewers. That usually happens in one of two ways. First,
that's why it's a bunch of pretty girls. That's the reason why. They're trying to farm one or two simps, and that's all they need.
That viewer donation. Viewers can tip the streamers directly through these virtual
That's why they're wearing
gifts.
makeup,
this is one of the most common ways for street streamers
wearing high
to
heels.
monetize. The second way is live commerce, and this is basically infomercial but on streams. Streamers would talk about the product, and there will be a button at the bottom of the screen for viewers to buy. When that happens, the streamer receives a commission from the sales.
Wow, I am amazed. I didn't know any of this until I started watching this today. This is like amazing what's happening in China. We had another video about China microdramas. Very interesting to pay attention to what's happening in China. But this thing about the homeless streamers, like, amazing. Let's watch some more.
Fact remains that streamers don't get paid unless viewers take money out of their own pocket and give it to them in one way or another.
That is a different
dynamic.
dynamic.
This creates an incentive, if ever so subtly, for streamers to be a bit more desperate. They seem more needy because they do need something from their viewers. Because of this...
And this is the way Twitch used to be. It's like there used to always be viewers and like streamers would used to hide their wealth and like hide the amount of money that they made. And this is something that happened really until COVID. And I think that COVID, because it was such a multiplier on like the, I hate using this term, the influencer economy, it multiplied and it got so many people engaged that it was now impossible to hide the fact that these streamers were like multi-millionaires, right? And so like you, no, not like me at all. Like I didn't even really, I don't think it was like me at anyway, right? The influencer, I mean, that was never like me. But all the streamer incomes got leaked during COVID. I was number 8. Remember that? That was a good day. And so, but yeah, there were a lot of people that had that happen. And so then, like, that was the disillusionment. Because do you remember how many viewers were like really angry and upset whenever they realized that so many of these streamers made such a tremendous amount of money? Like, that was one thing that I thought was really, really surprising, is that people got really, really upset about that.
There were memes circulating on Chinese social media that compares these street streamers to beggars. Here's one such meme, and the top here says old school beggars, and the bottom says new age beggars. Now I can see some resemblance.
I think I'd rather be a streamer than a beggar, my goodness. But yes, they do kind of look needy.
But to be fair, streamers do provide some form of entertainment. They do sing and
so
dance.
do crackheads.
and so on. So a better
we don't have to
comparison might be
downplay
to street
crackheads.
performers rather than beggars. There's another thing that sets streamers apart from beggars, and that's the fact that many street streamers are often parts of a business or company that specializes in social media content creation. These companies are officially known as MCN or multi-channel network.
Yeah, this is a big thing on YouTube.
They're basically
back in the day.
streaming agencies or influencer agencies. They provide streamers with training, equipment, help them broker sponsor relationship, and with other logistical tasks in exchange for a cut of the streamer's revenue.
Pretty simple.
Now, you might wonder why any influencer would want to give up a portion of their revenue to join an agency. You've got a smartphone and a data plan, so just point the camera at yourself and hit record, right?
Yes.
How hard could it be? Well, there are actually a lot of things content creators need to do that has little to do with creating the content itself. For instance,
That's certainly true. It's a lot more complicated than you look at a glance.
I just spent a week filing my taxes. Even though my channel was monetized for less than 2 months last year and made about $200, I still had to include that business activities on my tax filing.
Of course.
Because there's apparently a difference between cash-based accounting and accrual-based accounting. And if you don't know what any of that means, I didn't either. So that's how I spent a week. Thank you for asking. Now, no.
Taxes, the bane of being a business owner. Who knew that a video about homeless streamers in China would get into taxes and accrual versus cash-based accounting? That was kind of a surprise. If you enjoy watching these kinds of videos with breaking news turned into business breakthroughs for you, then please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And I'm Aurora Winter, founder of Same Page Publishing and the author of Turn Words into Wealth. Let's keep watching.
No offense to the accountants
you got like
out there.
royalties, 1099s. It's like a totally different system, and like the tax forms that you fill out.
Like how much revenue they must generate per week. And keep in mind that Chinese streamers don't make revenue until viewers give it to them. Failing to meet these quotas could result in fines. And if streamers try to leave the agency before their contract's completion, they could get sued. So it's easy to...
Wow, sounds like a little bit like an indenture. That's a nasty catch.
I had a friend who asked me this once. He said, Louis, look at these big YouTube channels like Mr. Beast, right? They have much bigger budget.
Mr. Beast has a huge budget, that's for sure.
And teams of professional writers and editors. All you have is a camera and a keyboard, so how can you possibly compete? Now, this is just my take on it, but I don't think I am competing with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast makes great content, but the content he makes looks nothing like the content I make. In fact, the only commonality between our content seems to be that we're both breathing while filming and maybe speaking in English. I'm looking for something more specific. I'm looking to create content that falls in the intersection between what I love making.
So I love this chart, and I think it's useful whether you're a streamer or a YouTuber or you're just looking for a little guidance about what product or service to launch next or what business you should launch or double down into. So I love to encourage my clients to ask themselves 3 questions before they launch a new business or a new product or service. You want to have this sweet spot. I really love this diagram. So to have the combination of these 3 questions in the sweet spot in the middle, what are you really, really good at? What do you still love to do? And what will people pay you for? Or I like to say, who is that worth the most to? So find the intersection, find the little red intersection of what you're really, really good at, what you still love to do, because you don't want to build a trap where you're doing something that you don't love, and who is that worth the most to, or who will be willing to pay you for it. And there you have the beginnings of a good business plan. So maybe your business plan is being a streamer, but hopefully not a homeless streamer in China. Wow, what an eye-opening video. I learned so much about streamers in China, some of whom may be homeless, some of whom are part of some kind of weird factory system that seems very dystopic. Anyway, I loved sharing this with you. If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next Strategic Basics video, which I look forward to seeing you on that next video.